Off we go back to the all-weather for race number 5, and it looks this way. It's 1,200 metres, it's a Class 4, and Sergeant Pepper is going back to 1,200 metres. His third look at the surface. Stand-Up's been beaten as an even money favourite at his last 2. Shining Fortune, blinkers off, crossover noseband on, pacifiers with cowls back on, as they are with Flying Bonus. Magic Supreme, early speed, but drawn barrier number 11. We've got Super Fast Dragon wearing cheek pieces for the first time. Turbo Power, blinkers off, pacifiers with cowls on. Inspiring City has raced wide his last 2 and a gear change with Son Pak Fu. Full blinkers off, but a one-eyed blinker goes on for the second time, Nick.
It does indeed. And we can take a look at the speed map. Speed good here, I think. Flying Bonus is a horse who will put himself right on the pace. And look, he's drawn well. Antoine Hamlin will be on board him, knows the horse extremely well. This will be his 6th ride. So expect Flying Bonus to lead up and go at a decent sound sort of tempo. Son Pak Fu, I think, can follow him. He won't be too far away. Sergeant Pepper up at the top with a big weight, but he usually does race prominently. Magic Supreme, perhaps caught a little bit deep in 1 or 2. Stand Up, I think, can follow and get a little bit of cover out wide there, Tom.
He's well-rated horses, Flying Bonus with that pace. Sergeant Pepper's normally pretty reliable, as you mentioned. Magic Supreme, now he actually missed the start last time out. That was on the turf, never got anywhere near the pace, but Barry 11 is tricky, and he has one off a mark similar to this in the past.
Before we hear more from the boys ahead of race number 5, we're picking up the interview with the trainer of Stand Up, and he's standing by with Nick.
Frankie, Stand Up is a horse who's gone very close in his last few starts. He's running well, but I imagine he's been a little bit frustrating for you also.
Yes, this time you can see draw 12. Not easy. I will talk to Hill Bowman to see.
He's a horse that you've trialled recently on the turf. Now, talk me through that decision, because all of his race form has been much better on the dirt, but he trialled well on the turf recently.
Yeah. Usually he looked like a dirt looks better, but turf still okay. Yeah.
Just as far as his racing's concerned, are you sort of surprised that he hasn't raced better on the turf?
You know, he have a few times finished second on the dirt, so I just keep on the dirt first. Try to win the race for the owner first.
They certainly deserve it. And you mentioned, obviously, Hugh Bowman will ride drawn gate number 12. I guess if overcoming those factors, then he certainly puts himself right there, doesn't he?
Yeah, the horse will usually jump fast to see what we can do it. Yeah, because you get out when you get outside draw, a little bit difficult. Yeah.
Frankie Law and his thoughts on Stand Up there. We move on, Nick, back to Happy Valley for our first replay. Son Pak Fu runs 3rd in this race, and Turbo Power, interesting runner. His last couple of starts on the all-weather have both been 4th and making ground.
Yeah, for me, he's the real interesting horse in this race. Now, the blinkers are coming off. Pacifiers with cows going on for the first time. And there's a run back in October where he flashed home behind Fiery Diamond. He's now rated 73. So I think he's not without some sort of chance here, Turbo Power, Tom.
Yeah, I've got him in. He's US bred, so he handles this type of surface, doesn't he? Good barrier draw, and I thought he stayed on okay, all right there. Son Pak Fu sort of interests me a little bit as well. He got down to a winnable rating, I think. He hasn't won yet, but there's been a couple of handy runs from him.
Got a trial here, Tom, around Super Fast Dragon. Here he is running 5th, his first 2 starts on the turf over the 1,200 and then back to 1,000 last time.
He's only a 3-year-old son of deep field out of a red ransom mare, so there's US breeding there on his side to suggest he might handle the all-weather surface. He was pushed a little bit here, but it was the latter part of the trial that I did like. He's trimmed up for those first couple of runs, only beaten 3 lengths behind Excellent Fighter, and here he is alongside a Beauty Eternal, Nick.
Yeah, look, he's done a decent enough job in this trial. Again, I agree. I think he hit the line quite nicely, and I guess, yeah, look, the breeding could be key here, couldn't it? Deep field, we know that they do excel on this surface. I don't quite know the numbers, but plenty of them do score, so well worth following.
Well, that's a good report for Super Fast Dragon from both the boys, and his trainer's in form, Tom.
He certainly is. Winner again midweek, Jamie Richards at Happy Valley, and I'll stick with it here, Super Fast Dragon. Coming into with us with the cheek pieces on Lyle Hewitson riding, and didn't mind that trial there and wasn't beaten too far behind Excellent Fighter. Sort of had a nice enough mid-run just off the pace there last start. Stand Up, he just keeps finding one better. He's got barrier 12. He pretty much, I thought, had every chance last time out. Might have been a little keen earlier in the run. Turbo Power, and well, Shining Fortune does a lot wrong, this horse, but when he won on the all-weather, he looked pretty good, but he was pretty ranked last time out, Nick. 7, 2, 8 and 3.
Yeah, I've gone the 2 here, Stand Up. Now, I know he's been beaten at short odds in his last couple, but I do like the booking of Hugh Bowman, and hopefully he gets him nice and settled. And if he can overcome that wide draw, I think he is one that they might have to gun down. And that recent trial on the turf was good also. So Stand Up for me. Over Turbo Power, the case made for him. I think on his best form, he's definitely a player on this surface, and I'm sure he can run a nice race. Shining Fortune goes in, notably on that run 2 starts ago on the all-weather, of course, when beating Stand Up, but disappointing last start. And Super Fast Dragon in for 4th for mine. Wanted to keep him safe there for a minor line. So 2, 8, 3 and 7.
And race number 5 is the first leg of Saturday's 6 Up.